Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video will contain spoilers for the Philip K. Dick novel, Flow My Tears, The Policeman Said. This video may also contain discussions and/or images of violence, sexual situations, and drug use. Viewing beyond this point is a choice you have made, and you take responsibility for that choice. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having fun, and I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today we are going to be talking about Philip K. Dick's 1974 novel, Flow My Tears, The Policeman Said. This book is a interesting book. It was nominated in 1975 for a Hugo Award, 74 for a Nebula Award. Also in 75 it was nominated for the Joseph W. Campbell Award. This novel it's hard to describe, to be honest with you. If you've never read Philip K. Dick, it makes it that much harder to understand. Philip K. Dick, I love him as author. Wished I could have met him. He experimented with a lot of hallucinogens. LSD, psilocybin, mescaline. Had very severe mental health issues, but because, well, America being America, and we have shitty mental health even to this day. It was even worse back then, mental health care. He had been prescribed a lot of really heavy drugs that he probably shouldn't have been mixing with the recreational pharmaceuticals that he was taking. Well, he probably shouldn't have been taking the prescription drugs that he was being prescribed. But this book is a result. Dick said that this book was a result of a really bad mescaline trip that completely unhinged him. This particular episode happened in 1970. And over the next couple of years, it inspired him to write this novel. This novel came out in 1974. And it is, to say that it's dystopian is an understatement. Our main hero, or not really a hero, he's an asshole. He's really not a nice guy. It's Jason Taverner. He's kind of modeled on Johnny Carson. Has a Johnny Carson type variety show. Which were real variety shows, late night shows, like, you know, we have them today. We have like the Colbert Show, we have Kimmel, we have Seth Meyers, we have the other Jimmy, Fallon. They all have late night shows, but in the 70s, like Carson was the shit in the 70s. And they were a production. They were a show. You had the interviews. They had pretty much the same format they have now, except Carson had taken this experience to the next level. And this is the kind of guy that Jason Taverner is. He's that kind of personality. When the book was written, his show, it boasts, 30 million viewers, okay? In 1974, 30 million viewers was a thing, was a huge number. Now, a TV show gets 30 million viewers, it may get pulled. It may get canceled. So yeah, those numbers don't hold up real well, but Jason is also part of kind of a upper class, kind of a society is kind of a kind of like broken up, kind of like in Strange New World, or Brave New World, Brave New World, Huxley's Brave New World, but even more bizarre and more dystopian. Jason has a propensity for putting his penis into women. Lots of them, whether they want him to or not. In fact, what jumpstarts the story is he gets a call from an ex-lover who's gone off the deep end. He gets attacked, goes to the hospital, and wakes up in a world where he's a nobody. He goes from being this A-class, genetically perfect. He's described as being 60-ish, but because of his genetic engineering and being an elite gifted person, he's physically probably 25. That's his physical appearance, physical health. This ex-lover basically attacks him with a parasite. He wakes up. They rush him to the hospital. He wakes up. He wakes up in this world in which he's a nobody. And you have the line between the have and the have-nots is very distinct, very clear. Your early post Second American Civil War, you have forced labor camps, you have students on campuses, on college campuses, rioting, burning, doing the whole 60s anti-Vietnam thing, but at a greater masses, greater numbers. I have a feeling that a lot of the traumatic episodes of the 60s, early 70s, I imagine Kent State probably played a lot into the writing of this book. And we go through it. You go through Jason's, his scratching, his dealing with being a nobody, his relying on his wits, basically trying not to wind up imprisoned, and he actually experienced what the have-nots. He has a very enlightenment. He becomes very aware of how much of an asshole he was or is. Does it change him? A little. Does it make him a better person? That's up to the reader. Depending on how you read it, and that's how Philip K. Dick writes. A lot of Philip K. Dick's writing is intentionally worded. He's a wordsmith. He's probably, as far as science fiction goes, he's probably up there with Stephen King as far as wordsmith goes. He intentionally uses words. He intentionally puts them in an order. He intentionally arranges paragraphs for you to kickstart your imagination. My personal perception is he learns some, but not a whole hell of a lot. There's a lot of sex. In fact, our 50, 60-year-old man has sex with a girl who's probably 16, 17, maybe even younger. Her age is just kind of up in the air. She's a forger of ID cards, street urgent, orphanage runaway type thing. There's a interesting sequence in the book in which she charges him an exorbitant amount of money to make him some almost flawless fake IDs. Then as soon as he leaves, she turns him into the police. And things go around and come around. Basically, all of the shit that our boy Jason has done to other people in his life gets done to him. There's some dirty ass cops. There's affairs. There's people doing crazy shit with each other, to each other. There's drugs, the taking of drugs to enhance sex. This world is crazy. And there's a lot of scenes in which our boy Jason, a lot of passages in which our boy Jason gets hit in the face. I mean, he has to deal with his own cynicism, his own misogyny, his own homophobia, all of this shit that as an elitist, rich snob, for him was completely normal and he was above the common people. Now, this shit is coming to bite him in the ass. And he overcomes some of it. Some of it, there's some residual traces left when at the end of the story, like I said, it's and that's my interpretation. You may read it and come up with a totally different interpretation of how much better he is. He is better, but how much he improves, how much better he becomes, is left to the reader's imagination. And this is a wild ride. It's, like I said, it is a wild ass ride. It is more than worth reading. It's a very educational read. It's a very enlightening. Dick, like a lot of the science fiction authors of his day, were pushing the boundaries. Like I said, Dick did a lot of experimentation with your high-end, very powerful hallucinogens, like I said, LSD, mescaline, psilocybin. Smoked probably an ass ton of pot in his life. So yeah, in a lot of his books, I did Scanner Darkly a few weeks back, and that story deals with drugs specifically. This story is a result of drugs. It is, like I said, Philip K. Dick novels, especially this one. This one is one I've read. I probably read this one somewhere between about 12 and 14. I don't remember exactly the first time I read it. There's a lot. My 5th grade through about 7th grade. Yeah, 12 to about 15 years old, right in there, is when I was awoken or came into a lot of reading. I became a very, very bibliophilic person, a liker of books, an enjoyer of books. And a lot of that was I had actually gotten diagnosed with dyslexia, and we had started working on that. My best friend in the world was a reader. My mom was a reader. My father was a reader. So it was just that combination. And over the years, it's just something I enjoy. I enjoy reading. I enjoy comic books. I enjoy novels, novellas, short stories. And I also like books that push my boundaries, that push my concept of the world around me. So it's you know, that's one of the reasons why I flow to authors like Heinlein, Dick, Herbert, Asimov, Bradbury, just name a few, because their stories push limits. They push your mind. They push your belief systems. They test it. They test whether or not they test your mettle. Your intellectual, and whether or not you are the person you think you are. This is what these books do, and these authors do. And like I said, I really, really highly recommend this book. I can't recommend it enough. It's a great book. I'll go ahead and wrap things up here. I think tomorrow, this should go live Thursday. Tomorrow being Friday, I plan on doing a video for Robert Heinlein's Friday. I just realized I have a book called Friday, or a video on a book called Friday that's going to go live on a Friday. That's just going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be fun. So, like I said, check this book out. It is more than worth it. If you're a reader, the audiobook. I have the audiobook. The person who reads the audiobook does a damn good job of portraying Jason's arrogance, his snobbery, his just you feel it, you can see it in your head. And if you're old enough to have grown up watching Carson, or if you're young enough and you've watched YouTube clips of Carson, the variety stuff that Carson did on his show, late night show, you can see it. It's written well enough that you can see it in your head. You can see his description. You can see the curtains. You can see the stage, the lights. The control room. You can see all that. It's just one of those things that there's just the way it's written. It's beautiful. I'll go ahead and wrap up things here, people. And as always, remember to be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?